I want to discuss rapture versus Exodus. I will apologize up front. I cannot do editing on these videos right now. Microsoft Photos has a problem with it. It started about 3 days ago. When it is corrected, then I will update the videos that I've been doing and start adding the verses to it so you can read the verses along with me. Because of that, I'm not going to do that many things with verses on this. And this issue is rapture versus Exodus. Rapture came from the church. Those people who believe in rapture have heard it from the church, and they've continued it into this faith. Rapture is a lie. Rapture has always been a lie. If it comes from the church, you should presume it to be a lie until it's been absolutely proven otherwise. The rapture has not been proven true, so don't believe it. It is a lie designed for one purpose, to end in your death. Revelation 3 indicates the first church is not aware of the Exodus, and because of that, he comes like a thief in the night, and therefore leaves you behind. So don't believe the rapture. It will result in your death. It is totally against every other aspect of the Bible, and all of a sudden, he changes everything. He gave us the terms on the Exodus before, but I guess it just didn't mean anything, because now we're going to be raptured up, and we don't have to worry about anything, and he'll take care of everything. It's just, he provides, but we have it. This walk is about works, and we still have to do some work. The whole idea of the rapture is because the church doesn't believe in any work, so we come up with an idea that we never have to do any work. So Exodus, however, is in the Torah. And not just that, he tells us how we get out on the Exodus. Deuteronomy 28:68 says we leave by boat. Deuteronomy 30 verses 1 through 5 tells us when we start following Torah and obeying Torah, then he's going to bring us back from the land. And if that weren't good enough, then we have the Messiah himself tell us in Matthew 24:31 that he's going to send the angels to gather us from the four corners of the earth, even under the four corners of heaven. And I'm sure that verse is specifically that way so it can twist things so the people can believe, oh, well, it's in the rapture. That's when he's bringing us down to earth. I mean, come on now. Exodus is in Torah. Rapture does not exist in Torah. The closest you can finally get to that is Elijah. We don't even know what happened with Elijah, because we certainly, and same thing with Enoch, because the factor exists that we know from the Messiah himself that nobody has ascended to heaven except him who is descended. So they weren't taken up to heaven, so that little part from the church, again, is a lie. As, again, I would say anything that came out of the church's mouth is nothing more than a lie. I'm sure there has to be some semblance of truth somewhere in some of the things they say, just so people can believe them, but the grains and kernels are so small of the truth, it's preposterous. So if it is on Exodus, we know when we're leaving, which is Exodus, you leave on Passover, unless you're already in Judea. Remember, Judea is the destination, so they have a little bit different factor from us. If you're outside of Judea, you leave on Passover. Those people who are in Judea, they leave before on the abomination of desolation. That doesn't violate Torah in any way, because to get you back to the land, you leave on Passover. So that's, again, him being consistent with the Torah, and he follows the Torah just as we do, and we need to. I wish we followed it as well as he does. But he's not contradicting Torah either. So that's why when the Messiah says, as well as Daniel, well, Daniel tells us about the abomination. Messiah says, if you live in Judea, when you see the abomination, get out. Go to the hills. Again, everybody's going to meet up in Mount Sinai. That's Exodus. We have certain dates. We're going to follow them. We even know more than that. We know the numbers. Because why is that? Because Exodus tells us what the number, and Numbers tells us what the numbers are. They're going to be the same now as what they were then. Everything is the same. When he gives you a number, it's there because it will be the same. If he gives you a date, it's because it will be the same. Those dates are important to us. The numbers are important to us, so we should remember those. If he takes the time to tell us that information, we need to know it. So obviously, we have 603,550 fighting men at the beginning of Exodus. We have less than that at the end of Exodus. And when do we reach Mount Sinai? Because again, we're going to go to Mount Sinai. We'll reach the desert, the wilderness of Sinai, that's Exodus 19:1, on the first day of the third month. That's when we're going to reach it. Now, those in the 144,000 who are first fruits, they should get there earlier. They're a different situation than we are. But everybody else is going to arrive on the first day of the third month. Why? Because he gave us that date. If he gives us a date, it's there for a reason. When the date that we leave Egypt, again, where do we see Egypt? Well, we know from Deuteronomy 28:68, he brings us back by a boat to Egypt. Now, Isaiah expands upon the word boat, ship actually, to include a flying ship, which I believe is the one for 144,000. But excluding that issue, we arrive by boat. So we're going to be in Egypt. When do we leave Egypt? Well, when does he tell us we're going to leave Egypt? That's the 15th day of the second month. So again, we are going to, if he gives us a date, and I think that's Exodus 16:1, if he gives us a date, he's going to be consistent on that. That date will apply to us. If he gives you a date, it will apply. If he gives you a number, it will apply. So some people believe the 144,000 are in the first resurrection. That doesn't fit at all. And again, why? Because he's giving you a number that can't be, he's not going to put the seal on your forehead and then kill you. So the 144,000 are very much a protected class. They're going to survive through the Exodus. So that's a great thing, to get through the Exodus, where you know if you're sealed, you're going to be okay. Some of the others will have problems, because he's going to winnow out our numbers. It's the thing, whether it's the wheat or the tare, gather them up. That's the Exodus. Gather them up, and then we'll divide them out. Well, he's told us specific numbers that are going to be tossed out of our groups, and for what infractions. Know those numbers, because if he tells you a number, it's going to apply again. He's the only one who can tell you the end from the beginning. So he's doing that. So that's why you need to listen to these aspects. These are part of our life. Now, the only other thing that I love talking about is when it says, I'm going to come like a thief in the night. A thief in the night. So I wonder what time he's going to come gather us from Passover. You think it might be a thief in the night? So you think it might be at nighttime? Now, Lot left at dawn. It may very well be very close to dawn when the angel comes to grab us from Passover to say, y'all are out of here. It may be, but it doesn't have to be. It could be very much late in the night, so stay up. The Messiah said that repeatedly the night before he was handed over for persecution. When he went out praying, he kept saying, can y'all not stay up a little bit? Stay up. It should be the same with us. Stay up. When Passover occurs, that night you do not sleep, because you know exactly what's happening. Now, again, you can sleep at a regular Passover on that night, because, although you probably shouldn't, but you could, because if you don't see the abomination, you know the Passover is not the one you're leaving on. But if you see the abomination, you know that Passover, you better not fall asleep, because it's time. I'm going to leave it at that for right now. With regards to rapture versus the Exodus, again, I will obviously redo this as soon as I have the availability to add in text again.